Hi friends, this is Haruka from Planet Education, and I wanted to share some reality checks for families who are trying to decide, research schools during the pandemic. The reality is that so many schools are having economic struggles. The UCs had reported over $558 million worth of unanticipated expenses in March alone. This is because you have to pay for campus cleanings, student refunds for things like tuition, housing, no more sports revenues. The list goes on and on. And as a result, we want to know which schools are going to be weathering this tremendous pandemic storm. So here are 5 things that I'm going to recommend that families do. Number 1, check for signs of innovation. Check to see if your college or university is positioned well for online learning. This is not something that any school is going to be able to avoid. All right. So is the school in a mindset? Have they are they developing, are they just beginning online education, or do they already have robust programs? Are they doing partnerships? 2 schools that you might check out are Arizona State University. Like that's that is like the number 1 in terms of enrollment. It's a massive school, and online education is a significant part of that as well, and growing. Another school to check out is on the other side of the spectrum, probably never heard of, Southern New Hampshire University. It's an example of a school that kind of came up out of nowhere, but their whole existence is based on online learning. So see if something like that works for you. Number 2, social media. So before schools make big announcements on, national news level, you can kind of check, small announcements on social media, little tweets by professors or, thought leaders in education. Georgia Tech, for example, has a great one. And you can see what's going on in the universities like that. Other times, you may hear comments related to salary and hiring freezes, or just things that are going on at the universities related to COVID, how they're adapting. Some are doing a better job than others. Number 3 is you can ask about tuition discount rates. This is unique because, right now with the pandemic, many schools, actually even before the pandemic, tuition discounts were very, very common, particularly at the private institutions that cost anywhere from $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 per year. But this year in particular, everybody is feeling the pinch, whether you're the student, the family, or the college or university. And so they're trying to balance this, right? They know that the universities know that unless they offer tuition discounts, they're not going to be able to enroll the students that they want. If they're discounting dramatically, this can be a red flag, because it might mean that they're having really significant financial difficulty. But that said, it is also a reality that the schools need full pay students who can pay full price, just so that they can stay afloat. Number 4 is enrollment trends. Is the college able to meet their enrollment goals? Colleges at the end of the day, they are businesses as well, and they need to have their customers, right? These are the students. And if they're not able to meet their expectations, that's going to cause financial hardship for them. There are demographic trends to show that The number of college-bound high school students in the United States is in a general decline, particularly in the northeastern part of the United States. California is actually on the rise. We have a lot more students. So if you are looking at schools in the Northeast in particular, also Midwest, that could be a concern. You know, they just don't have enough students. You can check for trends about the number of the number of students they've enrolled every year. Is it in a decline, or are they always meeting their targets? Sometimes yield is a way in which you can check. I mean, most of the times people talk about yield for the most selective schools, but and they're never going to have issues with enrollment. But for the average schools, it is a concern. And that's especially true for smaller colleges as well. Number 5 is a great resource, and I encourage you to check it out. Forbes magazine. You know, you'd be surprised, but that's actually a great source of information about college financial health grades. In fact, in 2019 was the 6th year that Forbes made a survey of colleges and their financial health. They researched like 10 different measures related, including things like the percentage of like their endowment, the size of their endowment, and how much of it is, how much of their revenues come from tuition, and a whole bunch of factors. They ultimately rank the school A through D, and it is shocking to see the number of colleges that have the GPA less than a D- rank. That was in 2013. There were 110 colleges like that, and now it is 177 colleges, and only 34 schools got an A+, and that includes schools like Harvard, Brown, and MIT. But it's a shocking trend, and again, if you want to check it out, I recommend doing a Google search for Forbes Financial Health Grades 2019, and I will also leave a link on the bottom of this video. So you know, this information, I've collected it over the years. I'm also a member of HECA, which is the Higher Education Counselors Association, and it's a group of college counselors, and we share information, trends, because we all are dedicated towards helping students and their families with the college admissions process. This is such an important process any year, but particularly this year with the pandemic. Whether your student is in high school or, you know, headed for college in the next few weeks, I think it's really important to understand what's going on and how you can react very, smartly. If you believe that college knowledge is important, I encourage you to check out my website, check out my webinars, my college knowledge webinars, for great, valuable information for students and families. I now have 2 series with topics primarily on college research and college financial literacy. If you'd like, check it out. That's planeteducation.com, and I will leave the links on the bottom. If this video has been helpful, I encourage you to check out all of my videos that I've been doing on a weekly basis. Just keep scrolling down and share, okay? Thank you. Take care. Bye.